Hey, Julian Says here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Paddle Smash Academy. And today we have a true paddle pioneer in the United States, Jake D'Amelio.
We are all things paddle.
Hey Jake, thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before paddle? People kind of want to know what you do and then finally how you got into paddle.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in a town called Rumson, New Jersey. I played football in high school. Football was a big part of my life. I lived in a town where it was kind of like a bubble, so everyone knew everyone. Then I ended up going to school in Long Island for 2 years. I played college football there. School was not for me. I just couldn't do it. I'd be in class looking at the teacher, and it wasn't working. I was thinking of a million things. So I actually ended up going out, visiting my buddy in the University of Utah. I went out skiing there for like 3 seasons. Every single winter I'd go out there. I worked on the mountain. I was just skiing and all that. But making $8 an hour and drinking beer every day and snowboarding, it's not, you can't do it forever. So one of these days, one of my buddies hit me up and was like, hey, why don't you come to the city and, come sell, loans. I'm in the alternative financing space now. I'm a loan broker. I gave that a try. I worked in the city for 2 years. I ended up going there, being super successful at it. COVID ended up hitting. I kind of wanted a new path. I wanted to escape my town. I wanted to get out of my hometown. So I ended up moving to Miami. I moved here about 5 years ago. Miami's been amazing. The people I met here have been, truly magical. This place is unbelievable. I love it. I never, take it for granted.
So let's go back a little bit. You talked about loans. What type of loans? There's many different.
So I'm in the alternative financing space. So I give unsecured money to business owners. So if a business owner goes to the bank and they get declined, I'll come in and I'll have to give them the money. It's just at a higher rate, in a shorter term.
Sound like a merchant cash advance
advance, hard money, real estate,
money.
stuff like that. I grew my company, first started with 10 employees. We're up to like 65 employees. It had like 100 at one point. It was just too out of control. I kind of had to knock it down a little bit.
So is most of your business here in
Yeah,
Florida?
I have 2 offices here in Miami. I have an office in Stamford, Connecticut, and I have an office in New Jersey in my hometown as well.
Great.
But the main headquarters is here in Miami.
So how did you, you came down here to Florida, right? I assume for the weather and just for business, correct?
Yeah, I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to escape my hometown, and I wanted to be around a bunch of hustlers and guys that were doing better than me. I mean, there's guys that are doing better than me now. I don't, look down on anyone. I love competition. I love getting after it every single day, and that's what Miami has to offer. So I love it here.
That's great. So how did you get into paddle? Like, what did you see it one day? Did you ever play any other racket sports? Because you said football, which is
No. Football was my main thing. But I grew up as an athlete. Of course, I played everything: baseball, basketball, all that. And I always played tennis. My mom was a tennis player, so I grew up. I lived across the street from the park, so I always kind of had racket skills. I take my my athleticism from my mother, not my father. But paddle, I guess 2 years ago, I started going to reserve seaplane, and I liked the sport. And I really didn't know where it would take me, but I knew it was a good workout, and I hated doing cardio on the treadmill. So I was like, this is my cardio. And then I started seeing that a lot of wealthy individuals play paddle, and I want to become successful. I'm successful where I'm at right now, but I have a big ladder to climb still, obviously. But I just loved what paddle had to offer. Pickle wasn't. You can't just meet people in pickle. You go to a park and you start playing, and it's not like that. There's a show in paddle, and that's what I love. I love being the show
It's entertainment, right? It's entertainment.
So, Jake, for the past 2 years, I've been seeing you. You're a true athlete. I mean, grinding it on the paddle court with lessons and unbelievable matches and the screaming, the shouting. You
Don't forget about breaking
very
the rackets.
passionate, man. Very passionate. Yeah. I played with you once, and you are an athlete.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But you're really putting so much behind the sport. I mean, not only on the court, but also outside the court. And you being a truly pioneer in the sport, putting your cash behind it, your face behind it. Tell us a little bit about all that great things that you're doing with paddle.
Well, let's talk about that. How did you
How
did you say, hey, look, I'm going to get into the paddle business? How did that come to be?
Yeah, I play at Padel X a lot. I'm good friends with Nale. I love his courts. Nale reached out to me, because I always rock my brand. Always had the Novak logo everywhere. And then Maxi Rosas reached out to me, because I would play with him. He would give me lessons and stuff. He was like, hey, do you want to sponsor me? And I'm like, well, I've never really done this. I'm like, what do you mean by that? You just want to wear my brand? He's like, no, I need some money to travel and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know about giving a kind of an AM money.
Right.
He's like, listen, give me 20 grand for the year. I won't let you down. I'll help you grow the brand. And then that's kind of where it flipped the switch in my head. And I was like, maybe I could build a team, because one of my goals and my dreams in my life was to always build a team and own a sports team. Yeah. And it's not considered like football or anything, but I will get to that at that point. I want it to grow massive. And then Nolly reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to sponsor this tournament? Because he saw Maxie wearing my logo. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it flipped the switch. When was the first Red Paddle
I remember
tournament?
that. I was there.
Probably like 6 to 7 months ago.
Yeah, I remember
something like that. And in that time span, I mean, I must have had hundreds of people reach out to me, for me to sponsor,
they want
clubs,
money. They want money, yeah.
Just everything, and obviously, Marin helps me. You guys are familiar with Marin. Mm-hmm. My wife helps me with everything, but, and then I was like, let me just assemble a team. And, I play with all the local guys, but I was like, I want to target some bigger players. I want to have the U.S. team, and then I want to have the guys that play in Europe as well. Yeah. And it just flipped the switch. And, I started sponsoring all the circuits. Charles over at Red Paddle, he reached out to me. He wanted me to be the main sponsor. And, right now I'm investing a lot of money into the sport. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't have an answer for that yet.
That was my question. What's the goal?
Yeah. I think the ultimate goal is to keep building paddle inside the United States. Okay. That is the biggest goal, of course.
We're with you.
Yeah. I mean, the way the sport's grown since I've gotten into it the last 2 years is like out of this world. I've never seen anything like it. More clubs, more people are playing. Tennis is even getting like knocked out of the way. Because before I, got into paddle, I still wanted to play tennis. I would go, and it just didn't make sense. Like, no one was behind it. You go to a paddle place on a Monday, it's packed. Yeah. You know what I mean? You go to a tennis court, there's maybe one guy there, playing.
So now sponsor is pretty broad and open. What does that entail? I mean, it entail a salary? Does it entail just giving them shirts? Payment, traveling? And what are their responsibilities? And how many do you have that you sponsor?
Yeah, so I have a team about 13, 14 players. Okay. Sometimes I forget. I have so many people involved at some times. Each player has their own payroll depending on their level. Right now, the payroll on the year is like a little over $300,000 and change. That's what I'm spending, between the sponsors, between paying the players. The most one single player gets paid a year is $75,000, which is, the top of the line guy. I'm sure you guys know, who I'm talking about. I don't need to disclose names or anything like that, but the premier paddle league guys, they're getting paid the most.
So what's their responsibilities? What do they have to do?
Well, I have the front logo on their shirt, and you guys all know, like Coelho and Tapia, they have, their main sponsor, Qatar Airways or Alpine. Right. That's what I am for them. They have to do certain Instagram posts on Instagram, social media. They have to, come play tournaments here inside the United States and help grow the sport. Mm-hmm. That was my biggest thing when I drew up the contracts with Marin, was that like anyone could wear a logo, but like what are you going to do to help build it in the United States? Yeah. Right. And that was my biggest thing. And I want to start, I want to build my own circuit. That's my ultimate goal. Sorry if Charles is listening to this, but I want my own circuit. And I want it to be the players that play in Premier Paddle to be inside the United States, because they have the Miami Premier Paddle. They're going to be coming here. Mm-hmm. That's going to be good. I'll have a sponsor in that. But like, can we do the whole circuit around the United States and grow? You know what I mean? In Las Vegas, can we do it in New York City?
How is that going to work? Because there's all these other tournaments, and there's only so much amount of time, right?
Yeah, but the problem is, and I don't know if you guys know this, the Premier Paddle League, it really doesn't pay that much money.
Of course.
The players make their money from their sponsors.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Koki and Youngwest won the tournament. They won like $50,000 each. Like, it's not a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Not yet.
Not yet. But, these guys that are paying them, they're only going to...
Because remember, like 4 years ago, it was almost half that.
Yeah. No. I mean, listen, the sport's growing all around the world.
Once those big guys get in there, once there's more eyes on the sport...
If I could get some private VC funds, some private equity firms involved in the sport of paddle, we could do $1 million purse. Like, you have guys competing for $250,000 on a weekend. Like, it's going to draw attention. It's going to bring guys together.
You will have all the professional players moving to the U.S.
And some of my players, and I know a few guys, they are going to move here.
But what you might just do is create competition, and the Premier is going to have to bring that up as well.
No problem. So we'll compete, and we'll go head-to-head. There's only going to be one winner.
That's a good thing for the players. Uh-huh. And the players need that, because for, 30, 40, 50 years, they've been playing for passion. And it's about time, that purse goes more.
You know what I mean? The type of money these guys are making now.
Well, actually, I asked him the other day, and he said, The most he made 1 year in prize money was like $60,000.
Yeah.
A whole year.
Crazy.
And he was number one for 14
And number
years.
one.
And now
That's
these
crazy.
number 1, 2, 3 players are making less than $500,000.
Yeah.
Now, if it wasn't for the sponsors, they wouldn't be able to
The
survive.
top guys, like top 5, are making between $3 to $4 million a year. I know what
Yeah.
they're getting paid.
Yeah.
And listen, that's a lot of money. But the problem is, they live in Spain.
Yeah.
Half their money is gone.
Yeah.
Then there's no way, like we have 1099s, we have our own business, we could write stuff off, we could buy
Yeah.
properties, this and that. These guys, if they make $2 million, $1 million goes out the door. But if you come to the United States, there's more opportunity. Taxes are less. There's just more opportunity
see
for
that.
everything.
They're seeing that. That's why they're coming.
So Jake, we love your vision.
And your passion.
And your passion. I mean, we truly appreciate that part. So tell us a little bit about Novak. What are you cooking there? What are your things that you're putting together? If you can.
Yeah. I mean,
divulge those secrets.
my ultimate goal is to own my own paddle facility.
Okay.
That's in the works. I'll disclose that when the time's right. When it's opening, when everything's going on. I think that's about a 6 months to 12 months out.
It's going to be a regular facility?
No. It's going to be private, and it's going to be for the best players in the world to come be at, and it's going to be big and badass. Wayne's going to have to compete against me. For
Wow,
sure.
look at that.
And it's okay. He can listen to that. It's all good. Hey, listen, I started the whole Novak trend in sponsoring the players, and a few weeks later, Wayne started sponsoring players too. So
Good,
I
excellent,
think
man.
and listen, I love good competition. I'm good friends with Wayne. so.
We need people like you and us,
Yeah.
really pushing paddle in the USA.
It's just that I really see so much potential in the sport. Like I said, I had the opportunity a few years ago to invest in a pickle team, and I didn't do it. I have a few buddies that play pickle, and they're all slowly transforming over to the paddle.
Really?
And
the athletes will.
The growth of the sport, like I said before, is just out of this world, and I truly love it. Like, it's so electric and fun to watch. Like, you got guys hitting a portrace and they're running out of the court.
You got the bug, my friend.
And then, like, you know what I mean? And the bug hasn't stopped because I played golf for a while. Like, still need to cancel my membership. I haven't golfed in like 2 years because I just got so into to paddle, and I don't get sick of it. Like,
It's a new golf,
I'm downstairs, I'm watching these guys warm up, and it's like, it's just so amazing to watch the way paddle is. And then you have guys looking through glass and watching other guys warm up. Like, it's not like tennis whatsoever.
Yeah, it's more
And,
entertaining.
look at the tournaments they're hosting. There's 300-400 people just, watching around here.
Yeah.
Give it another year, there's going to be 1,000, 2,000 people at these tournaments.
100%.
You know what I mean?
So just think 2 years ago.
This is a
paddle was.
400-person tournament. This place is going to be packed all weekend long.
For sure.
And Novak's the main sponsor, and people are going to ask what it is, and they're going to get the same answer.
And not only you, I mean, we do podcasts with different paddle brands that everybody see. This is the next gold rush, for any sport. Paddle is going to be, everybody wants to jump on this train, and you as a pioneer, you saw it first.
You're right.
And you jump on it first, and your name is going to be out there. One of the first ones here in the United States, together with Wayne and all that they're putting paddle into everybody's eyes.
Yeah.
The way I saw it was, if no one's going to start getting into the sponsoring and doing the tournaments, like, someone's going to eventually do it. I was like, I'm just going to go all in with this. Even if I don't get the ROI I'm looking for, I'm having so much fun doing this. Like, it's a passion of mine. I truly love it. Like, I just want to grow the sport, and I like building stuff. Like, I built my business from the ground up. Like, I just truly enjoy building things and seeing them work. And the Novak brand is blowing up in the
players
whole sport.
deserve it, especially a lot of players here. Man.
And it's fun. I got a team of guys, I help them with life coaching, you know what I mean? Because, like, they go through a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, some of these players, they're not like the guys in, Spain where they can just train paddle all the time. These guys have to balance between work and trying to compete, you know what I mean? Like, the other weekend, Maxie lost in New York, and he's like, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? And I'm like, you're not training enough, you're not putting in the work. You're not going to see the results you want to see if you're only training 1 day a week and then you're playing money games with a bunch of guys. But I get it, it's tough, but I want these guys to be full-time U.S. paddle players where they don't have to work for someone and they have to compete.
They all want that.
Yeah.
And it's not there
But they
yet.
need to be able to make the
You're
money to
definitely
do it.
helping.
Yeah,
You're
of
definitely
course.
helping that situation. We need more people like that that's responsible.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you're going to take, when you start seeing those professional players really taking that's when the sport's going to be
for sure
to the next
well
level.
Look at Nico Agratelli, you know what I mean? He's a U.S. paddle player, and he's grown. He played for Team U.S. when they were in Dubai and all that, so like the sport's growing. I just need it to keep growing here.
But actually, now that you mentioned Nico, he was saying that when he played the PPL and he plays with the professional players, he said they're at a different level.
Of course.
He
You
was
can't
just
even
telling me
compare
that
the two.
the only way I can be at that level is to train with them.
Yeah.
And I think what they need is the Novak paddle
Yes.
club
Yeah.
coming to.
Yes.
Listen, the PPL league I think is great, but that's something that.
That was another question. You
Yeah.
wanted your own team. Why didn't you go that route?
Well, first off, it's a big production. Like the Reserve Cup is a $2-3 million production for a weekend. The PPL, I'm assuming, is somewhere in that vicinity range as well. I don't think I'm ready to take on that yet, because if I invest that money into it now, then I don't know where it's going to lead me to. Like I said, I do want to own my own circuit, but I want to do it once I have my own place.
Okay, and what do you think about the format? The men's, women's, and mix.
Yeah.
And
Paddle's not meant to be played mix. I think they
Yeah.
just do that for the fans.
Yeah.
But to be honest, they just did it in New York, and there really was no fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No disrespect to PPL, but it's not being ran the right way.
I thought that it was a big improvement. I mean, I went to the one in San Diego, the one obviously in Miami, and that one.
The one in Miami was great. It
Definitely,
was
definitely
great.
more an improvement when it comes to the professional, the feel of.
They definitely put on a show. It's
and
cool.
there's people there, but I think you were right about the mixed. It was.
But
I
what's
didn't
their
know about
goal?
that.
What's PPL's goal? You know what I mean?
I think the same with everybody, like yours and everybody, the exposure, getting people out there, eventually, creating this franchise. That's what the Americans are used to.
I think it's trying to make an universal sport, international sport, to make it Americanized.
Yeah.
By the team, Team LA playing against the team, same thing as NFL or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
those players will never be able to commit full time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the problem.
And I'm not sure if that will work because they're accustomed to something else. So it's like they want the Europeans and South Americans to conform to their style, and it's kind of tough. I don't know if there's a compromise.
I
or
just
something.
think the biggest thing is that to keep growing it here, so the players from Europe are all over and they compete for serious, because everyone's after the money.
Yeah,
That's what
of
everyone's
course,
after.
of course.
No one cares about. Yes, everyone has love for the sport, but these guys want to make more money.
Yeah.
And if 16, 17, 18-year-old kids can play and grow inside the U.S., by the time they're 21, 22,
Yeah.
they could be competing with the guys who are playing
Yeah.
now in Spain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
and
there has to be-
competing for $200,000-$300,000 games.
But
you know?
you're right. There has to be motivation.
Yeah.
Okay. What sport are we going to play? American football, basketball, or paddle?
Yeah.
American
Yeah, but
football and basketball are making a lot more money. I'm going to go there. We lose a lot of
Yeah,
athletes.
but for that also you need to have the infrastructure. That's what he's bringing.
course, yeah.
Because without the right coaches and the right clubs,
in the club, right?
you won't have
Facilities.
the junior development.
Yeah.
So how do you see the Novak professional paddle circuit? What will be the structure or the idea? Will it be similar
Yeah,
to the
for
Premier
sure.
Paddle or?
It's going to be very similar to Premier Paddle, except the prizes are going to be a lot bigger, and
Okay.
every person that competes is going to have a chance to make money.
Okay.
Because, you have guys that travel here, they don't want to travel for free. I want everyone, just like this, everyone has a chance
To at
to
least
make
make
money.
it worth their while,
Yeah, I mean, there should be a back draw, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's the best is supposed to win, but, it's not fair that Tapia and Coelho win every freaking match and they get paid and then no one else gets paid.
Yeah.
They get paid by their sponsors, but I'd like to see everyone have a chance to make money.
Yeah.
You know?
good.
I think I should do, 12 games, or 12 all over the U.S., 12 spots.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. And a few different states that people are attracted to paddle. I want to bring it all over.
That's beautiful.
And no one in U.S. can travel to go see this premiere thing because it's all over the world all the time.
Right.
But if it's, in Florida, then it's in New York, I don't have a problem traveling
Right.
back and forth to there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like you say, going back to the Maxi Rosas or the Nico Agritellis, the financial, the travel expense, it's so big that for you to fly to a tournament and you're going to make, for you winning it, it's $600
Yeah, it's-
or 1,000
To get your rating
or
up,
Or
it's-
nothing
Yes.
if you don't win nothing.
Or,
Yeah.
or
That
nothing.
sucks.
Yeah.
And that's what the pros dealt with for many
And that's
years.
why I got involved with Charles. I told him, I'm like, there has to be some more because they were doing like $5,000 to the winner and be split between everyone. And I'm like, dude, you got to do these games for like 20 to 40K.
Yeah.
So also, this is supposed to be 10,000. I'm going to make an announcement later. I'm doubling the grand prize to
Or
20.
ba-
Well,
Opa, live on. That's
we're
awesome.
going to do a recap tomorrow, so we'll
we're
definitely
doing a
talk
recap.
about that.
I'll make that announcement later.
How much is it going to be?
So
mean,
20,000 total. Everyone thinks it's 10, but it's going to be 20.
Nice.
I can't let him compete for that.
Right.
Good, man.
These guys got to win.
Well,
Jake,
we
you're
see-
very generous, man.
You're very
And,
generous. Thank you so
Doing a lot
much.
for paddle. So look, I mean, I'm really, really excited that
Yeah,
you're
thanks for
doing
having me
these
on.
things,
I really appreciate it. And you guys are great too. Julian, I've known you for 2 years now. Coming into the club, thank you for everything you've done. And then obviously our relationship has grown.
Yeah.
We gotta get to play more.
Yes, definitely, man. But you're playing with top dogs, man. I don't know if I can handle that.
It's
Maybe one set. That's
it's
about it.
super cool to see you guys, the way you look at paddle and how you want to grow the sport. It's cool to have another fellow friend like that.
Yeah.
That has the
Thank
same
you.
vision as me. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
and
it.
we use different formats, but I think it's our core mission, and you said it in the beginning. We don't do it for the money. We do it for the love of
Yeah.
sport. And we're growth before profit. You are growth
too.
before profit.
Same way.
Yeah.
And that's the way we think. That's the way we sell our
Seeing a
YouTube
smile on
channel.
someone's face and seeing something grow is
Yeah.
what does it for me.
Yeah.
I don't care about the money. All we have is time. That's it.
That's it, baby.
All right, Jake, man.
I appreciate
Congratulations
you
on
guys.
everything,
Thanks for
and good luck
guys.
on
I
everything.
appreciate
all right?
you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.